Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Year 5 channel and life update. I seriously can't believe that I started this channel over 5 years ago, so it's about that time for one of these updates. I'm going to share some of the wins from the past year, some of the big challenges I'm facing right now, as well as a sneak peek at what's next, and I figured I'd share some behind-the-scenes clips of some of my recent in-real-life adventures. So let's dive into it. So yeah, it's been 5 years, literally. So I think it just makes sense to take a trip down memory lane real quick and look at the very first video that I posted on this channel. Let's see how much more awkward I was talking to the camera.
Welcome to the video. In this video, we're talking about one of my favorite topics in the learning and development industry, and that is the Experience API.
Okay, I sound a bit like a chipmunk. That's because I sped it up a little bit because, again, I didn't want us to be like watching this, but yeah. Let's see.
If you've spent any amount of time in the industry, then you've probably heard this term thrown around.
So yeah, I started off talking about xAPI. It's like a technical e-learning thing. It was something I was quite passionate about at the time, and somehow it managed to pick up almost 25,000 views. So if you would have told me 5 years ago that the first video I posted would have gotten that many views, I would have not believed it. And it was like impossible to even get started and to talk to the camera. I tell the story. It took me like 300 takes and 3 hours to film a 45-second like intro video to the channel. Super painful, trying to not sound like a robot. This one right here, which I'm too embarrassed to even show, it's unlisted, but pretty funny looking back at these videos. I also have this one right here. It was my first like vlog style one. What's the date on this one? October 5th, 2020. My very first video was July 6th, and it's August 18th now, over 5 years later. So crazy stuff. Let's see this. I sped this one up too.
All right, so I just wrapped up that meeting. Now
the audio's terrible.
This is where I like to work on articles and tutorials.
Forgot I had that little Chromebook.
This article called "How to Use LinkedIn Effectively."
Yeah, it's just like a behind-the-scenes video.
Big post, and they're like, "Thank you, Devlin."
It's pretty fun. I see myself looking at this Reddit post from so long ago about someone like doubling their salary, and it's so funny because this is way before I had any inklings of like a boot camp and stuff like that. Or maybe this is approaching when I first started thinking of the boot camp, when I started doing some of that surveying. So it's just funny seeing some of this early inspiration for what the business is now before I had even arrived at this sort of business. So pretty wild looking back at the old videos and just being able to see yourself from 5 years ago talking about the stuff that you wind up committing your whole career to. So that was interesting. I like, taking these videos as a chance to kind of look back at that stuff. And yeah, I feel a lot more comfortable talking to the camera now. I know I didn't show you a ton of that content, but I was getting a little better at it, right? It takes several months to feel a little bit more comfortable, and honestly years to feel more comfortable. And still, I've taken like the past month off maybe from recording, and still the idea of getting back into recording, I'm like, it's just a lot of pressure. It's like, I feel like I have some trauma around it in some ways, just because of how much you need to like be on talking to the camera, and like, it's just a lot. It's a lot. But once I've banged out a couple more videos, then I'll be feeling like I'm back in the groove. So yeah, it felt impossible getting started, but something in me, I was like, I know that if I just commit to this YouTube thing and figure out how to talk to the camera like an actual human and share some of this stuff that I'm learning, I know that it will have a big impact on my business. I just felt that for some reason, and I thought it was going to help me land more clients, right? Talking about this xAPI stuff, talking about e-learning development stuff for my freelance business. But instead it created this whole new business of helping people become instructional designers, sharing upskilling content for other IDs. So in a way, it's like all of these dreams coming true. I remember maybe like less than a year into the YouTube channel, I was like, I wish I could just do this full time. I wish I could just focus 100% on creating content for other instructional designers, help them do their job better. And I thought it was going to take like another decade to get to that point, but it all happened pretty fast after that. And I attribute a lot of that to YouTube and just how powerful the platform is for sharing your expertise, building a community, attracting like-minded people. So yeah, it's been really great. I'm really glad I did get out of my comfort zone and commit to doing something that was so painful in the beginning. But yeah, we did have some big wins this year. I talked about this one quite a lot on the channel, but Peck Academy is officially a licensed career school. So if you haven't been watching any of the rest of the content, You probably know that at the end of 2020, I pre-sold the Instructional Design Portfolio Bootcamp, where I helped people with their portfolio websites. I helped a lot of people build their portfolios, land some really good roles in the instructional design field, and it evolved into a program where I was helping people become instructional designers from A to Z, learn all of the necessary skills, build a portfolio, get hired. And then I realized, if we want to do that, we need to be licensed in our state. If we want to help people, prepare people for a profession, we need to be an actual school. So we went under the year-long process to build out like a 200-page curriculum document, build an independent body of experts to review it and give us feedback and give us that stamp of approval, and get it reviewed by our state's licensing office. I have a ton of like processes and policies in place now. It's like super well documented. And yeah, so we are a career school now. It's like an actual online school. We can get accredited in a couple of years once we've been operating as a career school for long enough. And I was really happy about getting to keep our Peck Academy promise. So this is where if people don't land a role within 6 months of completing the program, they get 100% of their tuition back. I've offered that for a while, and in 5 years, we've never once had to actually give that refund because people do land that role. So I was really confident in it, and I had to add, some more terms, some more clear language around how that promise applies, like what exactly counts as graduating, and then in what like catastrophic market conditions might this not apply, like if the entire job market tanks, for example. But we've been doing great. Our students have been doing really well. Do I have any notes about that? Yeah, we have students who joined Peck Academy, and within a few months now they're working on projects for Google. They're landing some really nice contract roles, remote full-time roles that they're really happy with. So yeah, the job market has been a little tougher for people, it seems like, overall. Like even in the academy, sometimes it takes people a few months in the job market. It takes people a little longer, but we're still seeing people land some really impressive roles going through the program. So it's really nice validation for the team and I that what we built works. And it's really motivating, of course, for the other students and for the rest of the community to see people landing these nice roles, and people being transparent that, it is hard. It does take a lot. It takes an emotional toll going through that job search process, which is why it's really nice having some extra support. We also built some really cool AI projects. So again, I've been featuring them quite heavily on the channel. It's honestly like one of the things I'm most passionate about beyond just helping people become IDs. I love seeing how new tech is getting applied in our industry. I think I did that like Halloween haunted house, the AI powered like ghost back in October. I don't have that one pulled up here for you. One of the most impressive ones I've seen is by Sabrina Gonzalez. It's this vet care AI project. So it's not fully demoed right here, but I demoed it in some other videos, but it's really cool. Check out this video just to see what's possible. But it's fully AI powered avatar here. You can message them and get like full AI chat, and then you could talk to an AI powered coach as well right here, and the AI coach can like see the whole chat. So it's really cool. I showed off this one too. This one's Daniel Guimont's project, where we're trying to like de-escalate a situation, and we can like type whatever we want, and AI powers the experience. So again, I've demoed it, but I think this is just a really nice example of what what a really high production value storyline course looks like with AI incorporated. So yeah, this is AI generated, and it's completely dynamic, and there's an AI coach that we can talk to as well. I showed off some of these in much more depth in this video for mind-blowing AI e-learning projects. So check it out. I posted it, I think, about a month ago or so. And yeah, this is a prototype from Susan where we talk, and then these 6 different characters are AI powered and all have different personalities and all of that. So yeah, we've been having a lot of fun pushing the boundaries with what's possible with AI, and especially AI inside of Articulate Storyline. So I've gotten a lot better with coding this year while working on that. And oh boy, the Instructional Design Project Lab. So I've been talking about this one for a while. I'll talk about this one again when I get to the challenges point, but we are in a better spot than we've ever been. I feel better about it than I've ever felt. Like I see all of the pieces laid out and all of the steps to get it to completion. It's just a matter of getting them done. And yeah, I'm just having such perfectionism with it, which is a big challenge for me working on this, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, I just feel a lot of pressure to make this like the best instructional design course to exist. I'm trying to like raise the bar I've set for myself with the Storyline Project Lab, because I'm really happy with how that one turned out, and I'm trying to one up myself basically for you all. So really excited to get that one out there. I've been sharing updates about that along the way as well. We've also done some big updates to our Peck Academy curriculum. So if you're a big fan of the channel or of the content, you probably know our approach with the portfolio website and a flagship project. And the flagship project is story-driven and scenario-based to really draw in potential clients, hiring managers, right? Show off everything you're capable of. But we've made some updates to that to make it to make each project more unique, to make them immediately engaging, and to really layer on top of the existing storytelling elements that already work. We're trying to really lean into that visual storytelling, using sound effects, animation, just trying to make it even more immersive. So check it out. I'm going to show you a little demo that Sabrina threw together quickly, but basically these projects coming out of Peck Academy are going to be some of the best ones that people have ever created working with us, and it's going to be immediately interactive and engaging. So this is a really quick example, but I just want to give you an idea of what's going to be going on. So here we go. So we're trying to layer in that interactivity immediately. Sound effects, storytelling. We're at this command center.
Stratus 917's grounded in Milan. Passengers already on board.
All right, we have a flight grounded. We have passengers on board. We have another alert.
We've got weather in Geneva. Reroute or wait it out?
All right, what are we going to do? There's inclement weather in Geneva. Should we wait, escalate, reroute? Let's just wait and see what happens.
Still holding. Geneva airspace isn't clearing up.
Uh-oh. Pretty sweet. How's that for a title screen? So instead of just hopping in here right to a title screen, we're adding immediate interactivity, immediately drawing people into the story. And yeah, I just think this is a really sick use of AI visuals. Again, Sabrina threw this together so quickly just to show a demo of this new curriculum we put out. So stay tuned. We're going to be definitely featuring these projects on the channel, and I'm quite excited to show y'all what people are creating. And then we also started working with a career mentor. So we collaborated with Lindsay Mattinson. She is like super intense when it comes to resumes, super knowledgeable, been doing it for like 10 years, knows all the like standards, knows how to beat the ATS. We did a full almost hour and a half workshop with her where she shared a lot of, really good stuff. But yeah, now we started working with her in the academy so our students can get in-depth resume reviews, LinkedIn profile help, negotiation help, interview help. Oh, we started incorporating mock interviews as well for people who are going through the program. So we're just, again, layering on this piece so much because we obviously are investing a ton into making sure everyone who goes through this program gets hired really fast. And I think working with Lindsay has been a great way to ensure that happens even better, making sure we're using all of the resume best practices. And we've already updated our curriculum with new templates, new best practices, new guidelines. So it's going to be really exciting to see how quickly that is making an impact for people. Oh yeah, and then we've also simplified our offers quite a bit. So yeah, because we created this licensed career school, I created a whole separate business for it. So Peck Academy is its own freestanding business with its own offer. It's this licensed career school. And then I have my original business, Peck Consulting, which controls like devlinpeck.com, for example. And so now in Peck Academy, we have the full career school for people who want to transition careers. And in Devlin Peck, we have an offer called Devlin Peck Pro, which helps people get access to all of our paid courses. And then it's kind of like a la carte what level of support you want. If you want full one-on-one feedback, you can get the top tier of the membership. And if you just want to get access to all of the courses in the community, there's a bottom tier. Most people go with that. Just because they want to dive deeper than what's on the YouTube channel. They want to get that step-by-step guided content. So now we have Devlin Peck Pro for that, for people who want that upskilling, want to make sure they're up to date, get access to our workshops without necessarily going through a whole certification program as if they were transitioning into the field for the first time. So we have a business to serve people who are transitioning careers and a single offer for that, which is the certification program. And we have this offer for people who are already in the field but want to dive deeper than YouTube to upskill and make sure that they're, keeping their skills really sharp, staying ahead of the curve when it comes to the AI stuff, all of that good stuff. So that took a lot of effort to get into place, but things are nice and simple now. We're not selling like all these different courses, all these different packages, all these different bundles. It's just certification program if you're transitioning, or Devlin Peck Pro if you're in the field and want to do that extra upskilling. So that has been nice for the team's peace of mind. If you want to check those out, those are the sites, peckacademy.com and devlinpeck.com/pro. All right, so let's dive into some of the challenges. So we've been dealing with some burnout. Right, when this licensing process started, we had to like downsize a little bit. We had to do more with fewer people. It's been just a lot more stress and overhead running 2 separate businesses, going through the licensing process and all of that. And while I really try not to, I would hope my team doesn't say I'm a micromanager, but I try to stay pretty hands off and just trust my team to get the job done. But my team also sets really high standards for themselves, just like I do for myself. And we wind up burning ourselves out from time to time. So I think that's what happened here. So we're trying to make some adjustments. We're trying to take some more time off. We're trying to make sure that we're here for a long time, not just burn ourselves out and then, having to take way too long off. So we're trying to be more aware of that. I have been, I think I share a little bit. I've been dealing with this as well. Something I've been doing something I realized, I guess, is that, I put all of this pressure and guilt on myself to be working on the ID Project Lab. And like, if a day goes by where I'm not working on it, I'm like feeling like a failure basically. But feeling that pressure all the time, obviously, doesn't make me super excited to work on stuff and can burn me out quite a bit. So it was a big realization when I was like, well, it's summer right now. I'm in like one of the most beautiful regions of the world for summertime here in the Pacific Northwest. There's so many beautiful waterfalls, hikes, just so many adventures to be had. So I was like, what if I use this summer to take it as an opportunity to go on some adventures instead of putting so much pressure to every day being like a workhorse for 8 hours a day. So once a week, I haven't been hitting that exactly. I've been trying to get out and go on an adventure. I've been taking some photos. I have like a camera. I did like some very light like vlogging, I guess you could say, just for like myself. I don't really know why, but I figured maybe I'll show some clips of it in this video, just to do something with that content and show y'all a bit what I've been up to on my adventures. So speaking of the ID Project Lab, I already spoke on it a little bit, but this course, I like to say, like, has been the thorn in my side. I've worked with like 4 instructional designers now, if not 5, who have all helped contribute to this project and make it even more comprehensive and bigger, contributing stuff from like project management expertise, just like tales from the field, people who have actually done all the steps from this process in the corporate world and are seeing big impacts. So we've been working with subject matter experts, and then people who are just really good at keeping things nice and simple for the audience, making sure that things are easy to follow. But I still, like, it's hard because there's so many different pieces of this project that need to work together, because it's meant to be like an immersive simulation, so to speak. So instead of just like, here's this theory, let's learn about it, it's, you are an instructional designer who just got hired at this fictitious call center, at this company's call center. You just got this training intake form, and you need to now go through the full instructional design process from A to Z, starting with a really deep analysis. And so us, as the instructional designers working on this, need to make sure that the stuff that the person discovers during this analysis justifies all of the solutions we're going to have them build. And so it's like a very meta project where we need like so much alignment. We need to make sure that the process we're bringing people through in the course also gives us an opportunity to teach all of these necessary instructional design theories and models and principles, while also making sure that the simulation data adds up, and that the data justifies things, and that it's still easy to follow and it's scaffolded well. So it's been seriously like the most ambitious instructional design project I've ever touched by far. I've been so excited by the end result, but it can really take a toll on the people working on it. Myself, just because my standards for it are like unrealistically high almost. So it's been taking up a lot of my time. So that's part of what I've said to my team for months. I'm like, I need to like single-mindedly focus on this course. It's been in development for too long. We need to get this out there for the people. And I know that in a way I kind of slow things down just because I do want things to be perfect. So that's what I've been struggling with. I do think we're going to get there this year. Like I said, we are in such a good spot. Project 1 was the hardest one with the analysis, making sure all the data justifies everything. And those deliverables are in really good shape. We just need to actually make sure, finalize all of the lessons and actually record it. So we're getting really, really close to doing that. But yeah, I just realized like my perfectionism is alive and well with this course, especially. I'm like, it needs to be perfect. So yeah, I already spoke on this piece. We're trying to take some more time off, nothing excessive, but just to, make sure we're taking days off here and there to kind of recover, make sure our minds are staying sharp for these projects we're working on. And maybe now's a good time to cut into that little segue. So we'll cut into my montage of some of my adventure clips and some of the photos I've been taking. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. All right, so I made it to Naked Falls, took this dirt road down a couple of miles. And I can hear the falls, I can hear people at the falls, but we're about to see what Naked Falls is all about once I figure out how to get down there. Got my camera. It was a little scary driving here alone just because I lost service and I rely on my navigation for like everything, so. All right, I hope you enjoyed those clips. Again, let me know what you think about it in the comments below, but let's dive back into some boring business talk. The other big challenge I've been facing is that I have not been able to focus very much on marketing and growth for the business. So that's hard for me as a business owner because I'm like, I want the business to be growing, right? I want to be able to focus on sales to make sure that our bills are getting paid every month, the lights are staying on, the team's happy. And that's something I'm feeling better about now, but it was really hard for me in the beginning when I was coming to the terms of the fact that like, I'm going to be putting all my effort on this course, which means that sales might suffer a little bit, right? We're not going to be able to focus on growth. This is going to be the team for a little bit. We're not going to be able to do a lot of hiring or anything like that. And I've just been telling myself that even if there's a little bit of a contraction while I'm working on this course, it's going to lead to a big boom later once this gets out there in the world and people are seeing the impact that this course has. So that's how I've been thinking about it. A short-term big investment of time for a big long-term win once we can get this big course done. So yeah, that's a bit of a challenge. So what is next? So we did create some new free deliverables that I think you all will appreciate. So the first one is this new instructional design roadmap. So it's a full guide to people becoming an instructional designer. This is going to be the main free thing that we offer from Peck Academy. If y'all have used like the Become an ID checklist, it's like that, but a lot better, right? So we link to some updated resources. We break it out into these phases that we actually follow now in our programs and all of our suggestions. So the first one is really about making sure ideas are right for you. Then it's about building up your foundation, those foundational skills, and then using those skills to create your portfolio projects and your portfolio itself. We link to a bunch of portfolio inspiration, and then landing your new role. We link to some of these updated resources as well as shared a first 90-day success plan. So check this out. I'll share a link to download this in the description. And next week, I plan on creating and posting the full guide to becoming an instructional designer in 2025. So I'm going to share all of my updated guidance. I'm going to be taking a deeper dive into this roadmap. And I'm going to be creating some more supporting content to help people become an ID because, again, it is a little different than trying to become an ID in 2022. It is harder. You are going to need to do a little bit more work to stand out, but it is 100% possible. Every person we're working with who follows our approach is getting hired. So the market is still very much favorable to people who build these skills that we share here on the channel and here in this roadmap. So the next thing I created and had some help with from my team is this instructional design skills assessment. I'm quite happy with it. Here's a little demo. So it's like a 30 question assessment broken up into all these different categories so that you can get a good look at how you stand up against other instructional designers, other people who are looking for jobs right now. Really find out where you're strongest, find out where your gaps might be. So I'm really excited to put this out there and once you complete the quiz, you'll get like a full report letting you know where you stand, giving you some personalized resources to help you turn those gaps into, your secret advantage, so to speak. But yeah, it's pretty good. This is just a little sample, right? Like we get into, the instructional design piece, we get into the development piece, but I don't want to give away too much. Too much right now. I will definitely be sharing this in the future. And I was thinking this would be so cool too, like people we work with, like have people create this in the beginning of working with us, like a pre-test, so to speak. And then at the end, just to really show people like their growth. Or even if people, if you're new to the channel and you download this and do this, and then if you were to complete it again in 3 months, it would be so cool to be able to show you like, here's where you were 3 months ago, here's where you are now. So I'm still thinking about the campaign associated with this skills assessment and like how to, make it a tool people can use to kind of hold themselves accountable to their own upskilling and see that growth in real time, just to, feel more confident and inspired by what it is that you are doing with your skill building. So I've wanted this assessment live for a while, and it's finally here. Oh, something else. I don't have a bullet point for this, but I do want to say I've been using GPT-5 this past week and a half or so, which is crazy. Like AI has come so far since last year even. I don't know about y'all. I use it every single day. These different AI models. It's helped me so much with coding, but it also helps me a lot with like writing emails, planning YouTube videos. I have like a business coach folder that's trained up on like all the facts of my business. And whenever I'm feeling anxious about something or feeling unsure about something, it helps me like reprioritize, refocus. So it's just how, and then with in my personal life too, I can't even tell you how many things it helps me with, like health related stuff, like purchasing decisions, technical troubleshooting with like Wi-Fi and things like that. So I don't know where y'all are at. Honestly, I should do like a deeper dive video into like the 10 ways ChatGPT has changed my life, because it seriously has been like a revolutionary tech for me. Obviously, it's not perfect. Obviously, sometimes in one time particularly, it led to more anxiety. Like when I'm going on some of these adventures, like I'm having some little accidents where I'm like hurting myself a little bit. And I was worried I had like a fracture, and ChatGPT instead of like, no, it's just like a ganglion cyst, which is what the doctor said it was. It was like, oh, you have like a fracture that can cause like permanent damage. You need to like get an MRI immediately. And then the doctor is like, no, you don't need any of that. And then I was like, well, who do I trust, right? Like ChatGPT is like my go-to. So obviously it's not going to do you right 100% of the time. It led to some more anxiety there. And then, I was like, I can't do anything. Like I fell on my hand like in the river one of these times and got stitches. And I'm like, I seriously can't do anything, but I've been reframing that. And I'm like, I'm lucky to be able to go on these adventures, and I'm lucky that when I do get hurt, my body can recover quickly. So I'm reframing so as to not just like sit on my computer all day be like, I'm just get hurt every time I leave the house. I'm just going to sit on my computer and work all day. That's not the solution here. I'm lucky to be able to get out there and not get hurt. So that's real-time processing as well. Cool. Yeah. So we're also going to be bringing tiers to Peck Academy. So that is something that we had back when we had the bootcamp, where depending on the level of support and feedback you want, you can either go to like the top of the line investment for like a ton of one-on-ones, reviews on every last thing you do, or at the bottom end, you can just get reviews on your project ideas, your projects. You're not going to, you don't need a whole certification. But you still get really in-depth portfolio feedback, get access to all of the content, stuff like that. So we will have those in place for the next Peck Academy launch, which is happening in about a month. So like middle of September through the end of September. So that last 2 weeks is when applications will be open for our October 1st cohort. So that's coming up. There will be tiers. So if the prices felt like prohibitive for you, we are going to have some lower price tiers available. It just took us a bit longer to roll those out, because every time we introduce a new tier or a new program, we have to run everything by our licensing board again, essentially our licensing office, to make sure that the programs meet all the requirements, to make sure that our curriculum is in good shape. So that's why it took us a little bit longer to roll those out. But stay tuned. We will keep you posted on that. And then I'm also thinking of offering some free trials for Devlin Peck Pro. So to get access, you can basically dive in and experience for yourself the Instructional Design Project Lab, the Storyline Project Lab, our flagship project scenario-based learning course, our portfolio course. So I want to give people an option to kind of try before they buy. So I think that will be coming within the next couple of months as well. So if you've ever been curious about, how different are these courses from what's on the YouTube content, I really want you to be able to experience some of what we're creating and hopefully become a Devlin Peck Pro member if you decide that it is right for you. And then, yeah, later this year, I'm really, really expecting us to launch this ID Project Lab once and for all. So again, we're closer than we've ever been. I do want to give you all an idea of what it like this project lab entails, just so you can imagine it a little bit. Imagine trying to design something like this that is actually an immersive journey, and like the stuff you're discovering supports everything else. So come along this journey with me if you're open for it. So you just got hired as an instructional designer at this company called Chic Avenue, and their call center is having some performance issues. So you need to go in there and figure out what's going on. So the first thing that happens is you get a training request form from the director of customer experience who oversees this call center. So she's asking for some training on like values, right? If the call center agents understood our values, they would be so much better on the phone calls and everything would be great. So that's obviously not the reality, but that's what the request says. So we have to host a kickoff call with this director of customer experience, as well as a call center manager who is going to be our subject matter expert for the call. So we have to host a kickoff call, ask really good questions to identify a business goal, try to get a better idea of what the performance problem is, all of that good stuff. It's really comprehensive there. Then from that kickoff call, we're going to review the existing training. We're going to review some existing customer service data. We're going to try to analyze it, draw some conclusions from it. Then we're going to survey the agents who are actually taking these calls. We want to see their perspective as well. We also host interviews with supervisors of the agents and senior agents to see what their perspective is on the performance problem and what might help solve it. We then observe some of the agent calls and analyze that data. And then based on all of this data, everything you see above here, we need to suggest some appropriate solutions that will actually help solve the performance problem. So getting this flow right took seriously so much work, making sure that the data we're getting from every single piece of this puzzle supported the overarching solutions. So yeah, this is not just like, oh yeah, let's look at this data. Here's the course we need to develop. It's like there are multiple non-learning solutions we need to recommend, blended learning solutions that are part of the solution here. It's very in-depth and comprehensive. And then from there, we go into developing a blended learning solution, essentially. So the next project, we need to build like a design doc. So we interview a subject matter expert to dive deeper into the content. We need to turn these like vague desired outcomes into measurable performance objectives, as well as enabling objectives. So really deep dive into writing objectives. Then we need to do a deep dive into instructional strategy. So we dive into like learning science, how we can strategize based off of all of our enabling and performance objectives. I actually did a YouTube video on the design doc piece too, if you're interested in this, where we do go into the instructional strategy and how that works. And I even show off the exact design doc template we use inside of the course. That was a really recent one on the channel. I think it's like instructional design in action, like let's design a learning experience. So check that out if you're interested. But yeah, then we get into like our strategy for all of these different pieces, and we write an evaluation plan. And then we go into writing the storyboard. So we do a SME interview again to get even more depth with the content. We create a storyboard template, making sure it's addressing all of Gagne's 9 events. We write the full storyboard for an e-learning experience while applying Mayer's multimedia principles. And then we do the VILT part of this blended learning solution to and so we plan that out. We plan out the activities, right? We plan the timeline for the session. We create a facilitator guide as well as participant guides. And then after that, we do a pilot and we evaluate all of the learning data from that pilot and then suggest proper adjustments. So that's kind of the broad outline of this course. It's a lot, but it is going to be hopefully one of the most comprehensive self-paced learning experiences for getting better at corporate instructional design that exists out there today. So we're trying to simulate a full real world ID project from start to finish with a lot of hands-on challenges and practice, but you can do it completely online, self-paced with all the templates and videos and everything we're going to give you. Of course, we'll have people to support you as well and answer your questions and help you throughout it, but theoretically, this will be something you can complete on your own timeline at your own pace. And by the end of it, you'll feel very confident that you can do these same tasks in the real world on a real job. We're incorporating tales from the field as well throughout with stories of people who are doing this stuff on the job, giving real world examples of how they do it. So yeah, I didn't expect to get so in depth about what's going on with this course, but since it is behind the scenes and this is the number one thing I've been working on, it's always on my mind. So that's a little bit about what I have been working on. And you can imagine how excited I am to get this out there and start getting some real feedback and see what kind of outcomes this is creating for people. So thanks for listening to me talk about all of that. So yeah, I think I am going to take some time to create some more free content for people who are trying to break into the field. I know we have teachers who are going back to school. And, you know, this is such a good field for former teachers. Some of the best IDs I know are former teachers. So I'm going to create some content to help them out because I know a lot of people will be looking for that in the next month or so. And especially, you know, leading up to our next big Peck Academy launch for the career transitioners. And then, as always, I will be working on it and continuing to review the ID Project Lab, getting it as good as possible, and hopefully recording it sooner rather than later. But again, it really makes things easier for us to make sure everything aligns before we record, just because changing the data could change videos later down the line based off of how everything needs to flow. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this. Thank you for hanging out here with me, hearing about what's going on behind the scenes. Please subscribe if you want more instructional design content, because we have a lot more coming your way. Again, I really appreciate you. I will see you at year 6. One of these years, we're going to hit 100K. So again, please subscribe to help us get there. And I will talk to you all soon. Thanks again.